Good Sunday morning. Welcome to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator, John Becker. We're going to talk about the August election and a couple of candidates on the ballot. We're going to begin with two in School Board District 9 in Knox County. Bill Sofield's with us. He's the Republican, and the Democrat, Brandy Jenkins, to my left. Thank you both for being here.
You're welcome.
I'm going to introduce our panel. We'll get to questions. On the end there is Don Bosch. He is a lawyer and runs his own law firm. Happens to be a Democrat.
Good morning, John.
Good morning. Susan Richardson Williams is a Republican. She runs her own PR firm, and it's good to have you with us.
Good morning, John.
And my colleague John North right here, wingman extraordinaire. And we're going to talk to both of you right now about why you're running. But as we do, I want to pop up the map so our viewers get a sense of the district you were hoping to represent. Christy represented District 9 and school board chair for quite some time. She is out because Mr. Sofield beat her in the GOP primary. But you see District 9 there covers South Knoxville. Mr. Sofield, let's start with you. Why you're running and your priorities for District 9.
Okay, I chose to run because I felt it was probably worth having a change of leadership. My opponent in the primary had been there for 2 terms, 8 years, and I've often said it's a Republican theme for limited terms, term limits, and that until they get elected, and then they want to stay. So my priorities are improving the educational outcomes, protecting students, and being fiscally responsible with money.
Okay. And how about your priorities for District 9 and the district itself?
Sure. One of the things that I really want to improve is early literacy support. We are still having our children, failing the ELA portion of the TCAP each year, and that's just a really important foundation for our children. So that's my main priority. That'll help improve our graduation rates and attendance, and it just is kind of a snowball effect.
Okay.
Mr. Sofield, we'll start with you again as well. You mentioned something about outcomes, I think, and there have been some concerns raised lately about whether we're relying too much in schools on Chromebooks, and that's affecting outcomes, and students aren't learning as well as they used to the old-fashioned way. I'd love to know your opinion on that, and whether, if you were to be elected, that's something you'd be thinking about as a board member.
It's something I'm already thinking about as a candidate. I hear from constituents that they like technology and want to have more technology in the schools, and I also hear the opposite of that they want to reduce the reliance on screens and go back to paper and physical material that they can hold. And I think there's a thing to be found out about early approaches, K through 3 on screens and screen time, and maybe reducing that. I'm hearing that from constituents as well.
Ms. Jenkins, what about you? Do you think we're over-relying these days in schools on the technology? Is it maybe time to go back to the old book learning style?
Yeah, I do have mixed feelings about it. I mean, even using the apps to notify, parents, sometimes we miss things. So, there is place for technology and there's place for paper. Also helping our kids learn to write.
Cursive? You know what cursive is, right?
I do know what cursive is.
She might not.
Yeah. No, I love cursive. I think I have heard, some kids struggle with reading cursive. So, I do like paper, but cost-wise and efficiency-wise, it's something definitely we should look at. I agree with, Mr. Sofield that definitely K through 3, that's more of your fundamental, just learning how to go to school, to be honest. They don't need to learn to be on a computer also, but we also don't want to hold our kids back because technology is very important. So I definitely think it's something we should look into.
Bill, I noticed on your website that you want to ensure that our schools prioritize core education over divisive agendas. What are those agendas in your opinion?
Sure. So there's a lot of buzz recently about book banning and the books that have been removed. Right. We don't ban books. You can go buy those books anywhere and you can have them. But we have to have a reasonable conversation about what's appropriate in schools. And what's appropriate for students, and what's appropriate to spend tax dollars on. And there are some books on that list that have been removed from the libraries that are grossly objectionable. And
Would Roots have been one of those?
Roots, I wouldn't consider Roots to be grossly objectionable, but there's material in there that might not be appropriate for some school children.
High school age kids?
Might not be appropriate.
For high school age children?
Sure. And so
Okay.
when you look at that, you have to deal with the lowest common denominator. Who is it inappropriate for? Do we need to protect them from it? Now, there are probably plenty of high school kids who can read that book and not be adversely affected. But that's not how the schools work. They have to approach commonality for all the students.
Especially with this issue, we want to get your answer on that. We've got to take a quick break as well on Inside Tennessee, but back with more perspective from you right after this on Inside Tennessee.
That went quick.
Back on Inside Tennessee, talking with two candidates, a Republican and a Democrat, who would like your vote in District 9 in the school board race. You didn't get a chance, Ms. Jenkins, to follow up on that, the question about book banning and in particular Roots. Where do you come down on that issue?
So book banning, in my opinion, should be more about what is the whole entire book about, not just, ban a
Passages.
book about one word or passages. I do think that, as our librarians are not going to put something out there that's going to hurt our children. Therefore, the better interest of our kids. And we have the Age Appropriate Act that'll help us, regulate that, yes, but, I just haven't seen that happening, and I don't think that we should invest a lot of time and money in things like this when we need to encourage our kids to read and we need to improve our early literacy. That's one of the big things I want to do, is focus on what our kids need, not arguing about things.
Bill, I noticed on your website, too, that you support school choice in public
do.
schools. Did you support the legislature's bill that passed this past session where you give it to 40,000 kids instead of 20?
I'm fine with that. That gives more opportunity to more kids to avail themselves of the voucher program. And the argument's been made that vouchers are just for rich kids.
Isn't that true, though? Isn't that what the numbers show?
Not entirely.
Not entirely, but mostly.
There are a lot of kids who couldn't afford a private education without a voucher. And listen, who avails themselves of it? It brings competition to the schools. You tell me of some system that doesn't benefit from competition. Would your TV station be better off or produce a better product if you were the only one in town? Competition always spurs innovation and greater creativity and better outcomes. And that's a path to it.
And
Ms.
Brandy,
Jenkins.
what do you think about school choice?
Your expression seems different.
Yeah. I've tried really hard to understand, Mr. Sofield and others' opinion, and respectfully, there's a place for private schools, absolutely. I think, all schools and choices should be, available to everyone, but I just don't believe that public dollars should go anywhere besides our public schools. Tennessee is one of the lowest funded states. We just keep taking away, and we keep taking away, and we keep taking away. So,
You talking about on a per kid basis?
yeah, there's just all kinds of different things.
To build on that taking away, we saw Knox County Commission cut the budget recently for the school
$4 million.
district.
$4 million.
And that will mean, at least in that meeting, district leaders saying it's going to mean we're going to cut people. Where do you cut people?
Where do you cut people is a great question, because the majority of the budget goes to our educators. So, that's who's going to get cut.
How about you, Mr. Sofield?
So there's still a $13 million increase. So nobody is cutting money. The rate of increase may be reducing, but that's a favorite ploy of the critic to say, oh, this is a budget cut. It's not. It's an increase. And the other thing that hasn't happened in Knox County schools in decades is an efficiency audit of the budget. There are transactional audits every year to make sure that the money's paid and goes where it says it went. But no one really knows what they're getting for their dollars. And so I'm in favor of an efficiency audit to look at and see what the taxpayers are getting for the money they spend.
And what do you think the results of that might be in Knox County?
Might? I think it's almost certain that you could spend the money more wisely. It might even wind up as a raise to teachers and employees. If you find out where it's being wasted and you can cull that, you can use it for more important things.
So very quickly to each of you, South Knoxville, bricks and mortar question. What facility needs the most attention now, or is there a place where we need to put a new facility?
In
Brandy, I'll
about
start.
30 seconds.
That's why I said quick.
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
So
you.
which facility? So the middle school has a lot of, there's a stadium sitting right there that needs some attention. That's not going to help our education, but there's more examples of that in our schools that we need a lot of infrastructure. New Hopewell is one of them that I've heard needs a lot. So that would probably be my answer there.
Bill?
So Knox County Schools already owns property in South Knoxville to build a new school very near Gap Creek or New Hopewell, and it looks like that would be a combination of Gap Creek and New Hopewell, which is some more efficiency there. You can consolidate things and get more for less.
We appreciate both of you. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck on the campaign trail.
Thank
Again,
you.
the election is August 6th, and we're going to talk to two other candidates who would like your vote. They want to serve in an at-large seat on commission. We're back with that discussion right after this.